Hello everyone and welcome to the first ever Tales from the Cards playthrough recording. Since I started the blog, people have been asking whether I would do videos, and for several reasons I haven't done them. One, simple time. It already takes a fair bit of time to do the blog as well as participating in the grade company, and all the other usual life stuff like work, family, etc. So there wasn't time to do them. And second, many other people were doing videos which were of good quality, so I didn't necessarily want to do a video just for the sake of it unless I thought it was for a good purpose. But a few things changed. One is finding easy software that I could use, and two was just realizing that videos could be a good accompaniment to some of my articles on Tales, specifically some of the deck articles. There's only so much you can describe about a deck through just plain writing, versus actually showing how a deck is meant to be run, how you actually play through a deck. So I figured with some of the decks I spotlighted, some of the strategies, videos could be a good way to kind of show those off. So without further ado, let's get started. I've got everything loaded up on Octagon here. Bear in mind, this is the first time I'm using this software, and the first time I'm doing these videos, so if there's any mistakes, bear with me. So what I'm going to be playing today is the Palantir deck that I recently spotlighted called Galadriel Gets A Palantir, creatively enough. So if you click into deck spotlights at the Tales from the Cards blog, you'll find this deck there, featuring Galadriel, Glorfindel, and Frodo. And what I'm going to be playing against today is the Nightmare version of a beloved scenario, the Hills of Emyn Muil. I say beloved sarcastically, of course, because many people don't like this quest because it is so location heavy, but the Nightmare version is much better, makes it more interesting. So yes, we are playing a Nightmare mode, which means no more than one progress can be placed on each location in the staging area each round, which means no flooding the scene with northern trackers to just smash through the quest, which was common with the basic version. So the basic setup, we put Emyn Hen, Emyn Law out in the staging area, shuffle the counter deck, and the next stage is basically this is the only stage in the game, one quest point, and our goal is that players can we need to get all Emyn Muil locations out of play and have to have 20 victory points in the victory display. The other special tidbit is if there are no location cards in the staging area, the first treachery card revealed during the quest phase gains surge. So a common strategy I use against this quest is always leave at least one location in the staging area so we don't have to worry about it. So let's get started. I have my opening hand here, and it is a lovely one. I promise there were no shenanigans in setting this up. You can look back through my log here and see that all I did was simply load a deck, and I was lucky enough to hit upon this hand. And the reason why it's so fortunate, I have my 3 key attachments here: Ninya, the Palantir, and Light of Valinor. So let's go ahead and get started. And these 2 unique locations, they each have 2 threat, double the number of players, which is 1. So we're looking at 4 threat to start off with, which I'll set on my little counter there. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is get a little chump block on the table, play Emery, which will discard the top 3 cards of my deck. Nothing too important to lose there. And I think the second thing I will do is get Light of Valinor on the table. And I think let's go ahead and get the Palantir in operation right away. And I'm going to go ahead and use it to see what's coming up. So in case you don't remember, Palantir, you have to exhaust it and the hero, name a type of card, look at the top 3 cards. Every time I get one right, I get to draw a card. Every time I get one wrong, I have to raise my threat by 2. So I'm going to exhaust her in the Palantir and guess location. which should be a pretty safe bet in this quest, although there are quite a few treacheries as well. So 3 cards. We get enemy. Okay, I'm wrong on that one. Treachery. And a location, so I guess right, so I get to draw 1 card, but I have to go up by 4 threat for guessing those ones wrong. So I'll be up to 25 threat now. Not in it for the card draw so much as to know what's coming up. So now looking at these 3 cards, I know that the Orc Horse Thieves are coming up an enemy, so I know to be prepared for that. Although the engagement cost is 35, don't necessarily need to take them out right away. Important thing to know is I'm going to go ahead and leave these 3 cards here. In the actual game, you would put them back on top of your deck, and that make you a little bit more fallible if you have a bad memory, which I do sometimes. But for kind of to show off the Palantir deck and to for the viewers to see what's going on, I'm going to go ahead and leave the 3 cards there. Okay. What I will do if I'm actually playing is kind of look at the 3 cards and commit them to memory, which usually works out pretty good. There have been a couple times where I just totally fluffed and forgot what was coming. Okay, so we know a 3 threat is coming up, so we're going to be facing 7 threat. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on my counter so I know what I'm facing. And the only thing else I could really do is play Ninja. But since Galadriel's already exhausted, there's no real point to doing that right now. I'll go ahead and save the resource. So Glorfinel's committed for 3. These enemies are coming. They're probably going to be hitting for 2. Let's just go ahead and commit Frodo as well. That's 5. And I'll leave the other 2 back. This guy's going to pop in, which means I lose by 2, raise my threat by 2. Not the worst result in the world. I will go ahead and travel to Emyn Muil first. That's the one that blocks me from playing events. The attachments one is a little bit more nasty, and I usually wait to travel to that one till later in the game. Okay, so now I have to choose whether to encounter these guys. The beauty of the Palantir is I know exactly what the shadow card is, which is attacking enemy gets +X threat, which is the threat of the active location, which is 2, which means these guys will be hitting for 4, which would kill my Emery, and I can't kill them. It would get the threat of the staging area, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and, well, let's take a look at what this card is. Each player must either increase his threat by 5 or reveal an additional encounter card. Again, the beauty of the Palantir is I know what that next card would be, which is the Rapids. Which is the when revealed effects of hazard cards cannot be cancelled. Okay. Well, that would be a fair bit of threat to deal with. But I'm going to have to deal with it one way or another. I'd have to deal with about 10 threat and clear this out. Let's just go ahead and leave these guys in the staging area for now, and we will move on to the next round. So essentially I'm probably not going to raise my threat, so I'm going to surge into this, which will be facing about 10 threat. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not going to be making a ton of progress this turn. I have 4 resources, so let's go ahead and put Ninja on Galadriel. Oops, I deleted Ninja. Don't want to do that. And let's spend the other 3 for my shipwright. Okay. I just realized a little play mistake that Emery could have quested without exhausting. That would have been extra willpower, which means I would have lost only by 1. So let's go ahead and take that off my threat. So we already have the Shipwright committed for 3. We have Glorfindel committed for 3. That's 6. We're going to be facing 10. Let's commit Frodo, which is 8. And that's fine because we'll commit Galadriel. Okay, so this guy will sneak into the staging area, and I will choose to reveal an additional encounter card, which pops this guy into play. That's 5, 8, 10 threat, and exhaust Galadriel to add 4 to Glorfindel, we'll say. So I put 2 onto this location. At this point, I'm really going to need to bring down these thieves. Oh, they had Doom too. I didn't even activate that. Sorry, another play mistake. Let's go ahead and raise my threat by 2. Wouldn't have affected anything. Yeah, we're going to have to take their threat out. So let's bring down the thieves. They're going to be attacking for 3 because there's 2 locations in the staging area. Let's go ahead and defend with Emery. She may die, but it won't be the worst thing in the world. No shadow. So 3 to 2. She takes 1 damage. I'll strike back with Glorfindel on the Shipwright, which does 2 damage. Not bad. And we'll advance to the next round. We do have Unexpected Courage now, which is meant for Galadriel. But the future is now unknown once again, so let's go ahead and use Galadriel and the Palantir and guess location once again. Treachery. Treachery. And 1 location. Draw 1, go up by 4. Okay, so we're looking at Impassable Chasm. If there's an active location, remove all progress tokens from that location and return it to the staging area. Ouch, that sucks. And nothing I can do about it. Yeah, that's terrible. Okay, so this is going to fly back into the staging area. We're going to be questing against 9. Just my counter. Why don't we get Arwen into play? And save the other resource. So we're going to be questing with 3, 5, 8, and 10. The reason I didn't play Unexpected Courage is because we don't really need Galadriel's willpower, because this is going to pop into the staging area. We don't really care about putting progress on the quest stage. It's more about getting rid of these locations. Okay, so this will pop here, which brings this guy here and removes all progress from it. And we're going to go ahead and make 1 progress. Yay! The good thing about this is that I could travel to the rapids to get that 5 thread out of the staging area. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So this is going to be the shadow. This guy's attacking for 3 still, which would kill Emery. That would kill Arwen. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Let's just go ahead and kill off Emery, as much as I hate to. So 3-1. Emery's dead. Strike back with Glorfindel. That's another damage. Steadily wearing these guys down. And move to the next turn. Some threat reduction is nice. Let's see. Go ahead and play the Northern Tracker for 4. Just gives me a little bit more combat help. And let's get going with questing. We're facing 4. This is going to pop the staging area for 9. We're sending Glorfindel for 3, of course. The tracker can quest without exhausting for 4. That puts 1 on each of these since they're not immune. We will send Shipwright. That's 7 total. Send Arwen. I will boost. Let's go ahead and boost Frodo's defense with Arwen. And that should be it. This will pop here. We can send Galadriel. And then, yeah. Total of 13 against 9. Let's go ahead and lower a threat. And add another. So we're down to 32 threat. We clear this location of the victory display. And add another 3 to our quest stage. When playing a quest like this, actually with most quests, instead of using the victory display function in Octagon, I like to actually just put them off to the side here. That way I can easily reference, especially for this quest since you're having to count your victory total. I find it easier just to have it here so I can refer to it. So we have 2 towards 20. Let's go ahead and travel to this other rapids. I don't want to deal with those guys. This guy's attacking for 3, which matches Frodo right now. Nothing, so we can attack back for 5. 5 to 2 is 3. And these guys are finally dead. And we move to the next turn. At this point, I'd like to use my Palantir once again. I'm not having much luck with locations, so I'm going to guess treachery this time. Of course. Watch me draw all locations. There's a treachery. And an enemy, 1 of each. Draw 1 card, go up by 4 once again, so I'm up to 37. So now I know that this guy's coming in a few turns. So I need to get myself prepared to deal with him one way or another. I do have Gandalf in the deck, which would be nice. I also have Write Them Down, which could be used to at least put some damage on him. So we have some options there. Okay, so now that I know what I'm facing, we're just dealing with a location here. I think it's about time to get Unexpected Courage on Galadriel. And ready here. Now she can make use of Nenya, use her card, draw threat reduction, all that good stuff. So we're going to be dealing with 2/4, and the shores of this location, which I won't attempt to pronounce, Nothing special, 2/2 for 2 victory points. Just have to discard an event card to travel to it. Not too shabby. So we're going to be facing 6. Sending 3 with Glorfindel. Send 1 with the Northern Tracker. We know we're not facing any enemies. But another one on both of those. Sending Arwen. And the shipwright for another 5. It's 9 total. Let's see. We need to clear 5. So we have Galadriel. Yeah, so that should be more than sufficient. That's all we really need. But if we added here, we would do 11. Yeah, let's do that. Since we know no enemies are coming. So this will come in. We're doing 11 against 6, which is 5. Gonna play Elrond's Council to lower by 3 down to 34. And we clear that and add 1 more to the quest. So we now have 4 of 20. We could travel to this. I'd have to discard my Ride Them Down, which I'm not going to do. So let's try Emyn Law once again. Emyn Hands, sorry, the one where you can't play events. Let's see if we can crack it. Before we end our turn, I will exhaust Galadriel, lower my threat by 1, draw a card, another Nenya, and move to the next round. What we have coming up is Slick Footing, which is going to remove 1 progress token from each location in play. Bummer. Then discard the top card of each player's deck for each progress token removed by this effect. So I'm going to have to discard the top 2 cards of my deck. Not the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Let's just go ahead and pay 2 for Galadriel's Handmaiden, which I can use to lower my threat down to 33. So I'm just going to be facing 4. I'm sending 2 from Glorfindel. 3 from Glorfindel, sorry. 2 from the Handmaiden without exhausting. 1 from the Tracker, which puts 1 here. And puts 1 here. I can actually pop that one next turn without having to travel to it, which is nice. I can avoid that travel cost. And I'm going to need 4 to clear it. Send Arwen. And the shipwright. It's 11, more than enough. So this will come in. Remove 1 from here. Oh, I forgot that this was coming up. Talk about a boneheaded move. Fine. I will abide by my boneheaded move. Which means I discard 3 from here instead of 2. Oh, I lost Test of Will. So I'm going to clear that by 6, 7, which is more than enough. 7, 4, so 3 more on here. Not that it matters, but you know. So I now have 5, 7, and 9 out of 20. I will use Galadriel 2, lower my threat by 1, draw a card. It's good to have another Northern Tracker, considering what is coming up. And that is it. Let's move to the next turn. Okay, now's the big moment, because this Nameless thing is about to come stomping towards me. So what I'm thinking here is to try to put as much damage as I can on it with Ride Them Down. I'm not sure if I can muster everything that I would need. It has 10 hit points, so I would need 10, 14. I would need 14 progress. And altogether, I'd have to muster. Let's see, what would I have to muster? 8. Yeah, so I need 10 progress. There would be 8 in the staging area, so yeah, I'd need 18. I can do that. I can make that happen. So, can we? Let me double check. 4, 6, 9, 10, 13, 15, 17. Yeah, we can totally make that happen. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get another tracker out. And let's get elaborate. Take that back. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if it goes on the right heroes, but I almost did something stupid again. I need to save 2 for Ride Them Down. So we'll just pay 2 for the Handmaiden instead. Lower my threat by 1. Oh, that would have been dumb. Okay, so we're going to be facing 8. We will send 2. Already sending 3 from Glorfindel. That's 5. 2 without exhausting for that one. 8, 9 here. 3 more from the shipwright. 10, 11, 12. 2 more from Arwen. 13, 14. 1 more from the tracker. 15, which puts some progress here and here. And we'll send Galadriel, ready here with courage. And that takes us up to 19. Boop. This guy comes here. If you're not familiar with the Nameless thing, he engages the first player after you travel to a location, which means he's going to stay here until I travel, with his 6 attack, which would really hurt if I had to engage him. But now we will trigger Ride Them Down. I love this card, especially in this deck. Choose a non-unique enemy. I choose you. Non-unique, nameless thing who shows up in the Battle of 5 Armies. Until the end of phase, progress that would be placed on the quest is instead assigned as damage to the chosen enemy. There is no active location, so I sent 19 against 8. That is 11. So that is going to go on him as damage. 2, 2, 3, 4. Goodbye. And that takes care of the Nameless thing. That was lovely. Okay, next turn. Some threat reduction. Awesome. With that in mind, let's go ahead and use the Palantir. I don't even know what to guess anymore. Let's go back to location. Nope. Negative. Negative. Well, that sucked. So I will raise by 3 to 39. And let's just go ahead and swallow back that threat with Galadriel's Greeting. Back down to 33. So this card that's coming up is Rock Slide, one of the worst cards in the deck. I hadn't played Emyn Muil for a long time when I first played the Nightmare version. Totally forgot about this card and probably got pummeled by rocks. I feel like when I first played this quest, it never showed up, and now it shows up all the time. It deals 2 damage to each character committed to the quest. Again, the beauty of the Palantir, I can see exactly when it's coming up, and I can just purposely send only the characters to the quest that won't get killed by it, which means I'll probably lose out on some questing, but that's fine. In case you wondered, I didn't travel to this guy because I'm about to explore it with the Northern Tracker. So, I'm facing 4, really only be facing 2 because this guy's going to get explored by the Northern Tracker. So I only really need to send the Tracker, who will survive the Rock Slide. Boop. And boop. More victory points, so 2, 7, 9, 11, almost there. And I could just lose by 1 if I don't want to put damage on Glorfindel. Which, yeah, let's just do that. Let's just lose by 1. So this will come out. That does 2 damage to his Tracker. We lose by 1. I'll go ahead and ready Galadriel to use her ability. Go down by 1. Back where I was. And draw Test the Will. That's nice to see. And move to the next turn. I'm not going to travel because remember, this guy, if there's no locations, then the first treachery revealed surges. Okay. Next turn. So, looking at what's ahead, we have the Eastern Crows with surges into this one, which also surges, and Doom. That's a nasty surge chain. So let's not have that happen. We'll now introduce our friend, the Munis Tirith Lamprey. Much maligned, but very useful, especially with the Palantir. After encounter card with Surge is revealed, discard him to name a counter card type, and if you guess correctly, then you can discard the card that gets surged into without resolving any of its effects, including keywords. So obviously that's going to come in very handy here to stop the surge chain. So other than that, I think that will do me for now. And I don't really need to make any progress, so let's go ahead and make it simple. I'll just send Glorfindel. The crows will come in, they will surge, but I will discard him and guess, I wonder what I should guess. I will guess treachery. I am, of course, correct. This gets discarded without resolving anything. And 3-3. The crows shall come down. I will defend with Frodo. Return attacking enemy to the staging area. Oh well. Didn't want to kill them anyway. Well, I kind of did, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and use Galadriel's ability. And move to the next turn. So, the thing I still don't like about this quest, even in the Nightmare version, is you kind of depend on locations to show up. So you can get stuck in this pattern of just treading water, waiting for locations to show up. So let's gaze into our Palantir and see if we get lucky, if locations are going to show up. And in fact, I'm going to guess location just to, I may do reverse psychology on the deck. Let me guess treachery. Maybe that'll make location show up. Oh, I guessed right on treachery. An enemy. An enemy. Locations are just hiding. Okay, so I guessed right, get 1 card. I have to go up by 4 to 38. Well, unfortunately, we have another Nameless thing on its way. And I do not have to write them down. Hopefully I will draw one. It's ready, Galadriel. So this guy is going to force me to either reveal my increase my threat by 5 or reveal an additional encounter card. You know, I don't want to face that tunneling Nameless thing. At the same time, it would be nice to get through these next 3 cards more quickly. Let's see, I would need 14 total. I would have 3, 5. If I put out another tracker, that's 7, 8. Yeah. I don't know about that trick. Then again, he could just sit there in the staging area, because he only engages me if I quest, and I have a lot of questing power. Okay, let's do that. A bit of an unorthodox move. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Northern Tracker. And yeah, let's go ahead and just save up there. So we're going to be facing 2, 3. This guy's going to come in for 7. We don't need to make progress. We'll send Glorfindel, 3. Send Arwen, 5. And a Maiden. We'll break even. This comes in. I will reveal an additional encounter card. Thank you. This comes in. 4, 5, 7. Break even. I won't travel, which means this guy stays here. The crows do come down. They are going to have these crows as their shadow card, which means these are going to attack for 2. Actually going to attack for 3, which is fine. Which does 1 damage to Frodo. And I kill them, which means they go back into the encounter deck. This copy gets discarded, and we move on to next turn. Okay, let's peer. I don't think I used Galadriel's ability last turn. Well, that is my bad. Let's peer into the Palantir. Alright, reverse psychology again. Treachery. There's a location, thank God. And another one. Reverse psychology worked that time. Draw 1 card, up by 4 to 43. Okay, my threats are getting high. This is the time when I can need to think about stop using the Palantir. Because I don't have any more threat reduction available. Any significant threat reduction available, I should say. But hopefully, let's see, let's do the math here. So we have 2, 7, 9, 10, 11. If I pop this, that's 16, 17, 18, 21. So if I can get through these locations here, I can win the game. So now it's just a matter of doing that before I thread out. So let's ready her. I'm not traveling to a location this turn, so I don't have to worry about the Nameless thing. So this is going to add essentially 2 threat into the staging area. So we're going to have 5, 8 threat. And we don't need to make progress, so I can kind of, let's just go ahead and use Galadriel's ability then. My threat by 1. Okay. There's nothing very special about any of these locations. So let's just go ahead and dump these swordsmen into play. And get the willpower machine rolling. They can both equip commit without exhausting, that's 6 together. With Glorfindel, that's 9. More than enough. Add a progress here. And don't need to travel. And this guy will stay here. I used Galadriel already. Next turn. So this is the turn we are going to travel, so we're going to have to deal with this guy. So let's go ahead and get a poor chump blocker. I sound annoyed because I just realized this is going to go as a shadow card, which means we're going to lose it as a location. Although, since I have the trackers, I could just leave it there. Yep, that sounds much better. But I'll leave my lamprite out there anyway. And play a handmaiden to lower my threat by 1. Let's go ahead and use Galadriel's ability. Ready here, lower my threat by 1, draw a card. Put Good Meal on Frodo. And nothing really to use it on right now, but that's fine. And that's my turn. So we have 2, 6. We're going to have 8. We will commit Glorfindel for 3. 6, 9. Why not? This comes in. And add 1. This says, while it's the active location, each location in the staging area gets +1 threat. But guess what? We're going to leave it there. We're not going to travel, which means the nameless thing is stuck being nameless. And next turn. Okay, we're going to be up against 2, 6, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10. I'm basically planning out the strategy. So this is going to come here. We're going to travel to it next turn, which means we have to commit everyone to the quest, which will be troublesome with this guy around. If we commit everyone next turn, that should be enough to clear that out. The question is, what would be the next card? If it's another Emyn Muil location, I cannot win. And I couldn't really take it undefended, because that would raise my threat too high. Okay, but I do have an unexpected courage. You know what? Fortune favors the bold. Let's go for it. Let's do it. So 2, 6, 8, 9, 10. We will send the Northern Tracker, of course, which is going to add 1. That is going to go boom, which pops that. Okay. We add 1 there. So actually we're only going to be up against 2, 6, 8 because we popped that one. So Glorfindel we'll send, and this guy's going to come down, so we'll have 1 chunk blocker. Who else do we need to send? Well, we can send Galadriel to break even, so keep the rest back. Okay, let's do that. So we'll send Galadriel with her ring, ready her, add it to Glorfindel, which is 8, we'll break even. Then we will travel here, which brings down this guy. We will defend with the lamprite. That would have been a location next turn, so I'm glad that's gone. So 6-1 dead, so we can attack back for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 to 4 is 5 damage. Not bad for a spirit crew. So right now we have 5, 7, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18. Move to the next. Oh, before I move to the next turn, let's use Galadriel's ability. Down by 1. Draw a card. Oh boy. So basically it comes down to this. I've actually won already. As soon as I commit the tracker, that will put one there, and that's it. That's the game. Okay. So I won't waste your time with further shenanigans. Because let's just go ahead and go straight to questing, commit the tracker. Boom. That puts it here. We'll make sure we satisfied everything. No Emyn Muil locations in play, that's right. And we have collected at least 20 victory points, and we have more than 1 progress token, so we have won the game. Well, thank you for watching the first ever video. I'm certain there may have been a mistake somewhere along the way, because that's how these things go. Feel free to politely point those out below. But I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to leave me suggestions as far as what quests you want me to see play next, what decks you want me to see play. Any suggestions, comments are all appreciated. So thanks again for watching. See you next time.